Shut up and sit down.
Well, hello! Welcome back to Epic Fail, episode 177. Oh, it's been an interesting couple weeks. We didn't have a show last week. Galv couldn't make it. And I don't like asking people to guest at the last second, so I didn't ask anyone. Well, same thing happened this week. Galv couldn't make it. And I said, you know what? I'm going to ask someone at the last minute. aka last night at approximately 2:30 in the morning, because I knew they were awake. But we'll get into why I knew that momentarily. Speaking of that guest, hi Zeph, how you doing?
Aloha nerds! I'm here. And I'm not introing my own show. That's strange.
Well, you know. One will never accuse me of being an excellent intro person.
Well, maybe one of these days I'm going to have you intro my show. Just because.
I think we talked about that. I don't know. That's an off-air conversation either way.
Well, we'll have that, that soon TM sort of Blizzard conversation.
Oh, okay, so I'll see you in about 6 months. Okay.
Right.
How have you been doing?
Other than doing my own podcast, blogging, rating, and doing a bunch of World Quest, and just everything under the sun or snow. Okay.
Yeah, I know all about snow. I've multiple times had to be the nice person and do a bit of shoveling for some snow, and it's usually been not bad. Like, there hasn't been a ton of it and it hasn't been heavy, but the one time there was a lot and it was heavy and it wasn't fun. But I got I've actually got the cup here. It's point of comparison, it's an oversized cup. That's a keychain piece. So, yeah. Nice cup of hot chocolate out of it. So, it happens.
I would have went for the coffee, but I know you're not a coffee drinker, so I'm not going to hold that against.
Yeah, other than that, things I've been up to is very little gaming, actually. I actually had 3 days of emissaries to do on all of my 120s, all 2 of them, still, because Valentine's Day is coming up next month, and I have the mount, so I've been in no hurry to get more 120s, max level characters. So I'm just like, I can finally relax. So yay there.
So remind us, what level for Battle for Azeroth do your tunes need to be for? Is it 120?
For the epic box out of the events? I think you have to be... Let's see, 120's max, probably 118. I'd have to look to be sure. They change it, it changes all the time. Like, for 1 year, it was 98 to 110. Stuff like that.
So within a couple levels.
Yeah, you have to be up near the top. But, again, I'm not worried about it, because I got the mount. Other than that, this past Sunday, I got to guest on Girls Gone WoW podcast. That was interesting. I've never been on a podcast that early in the day for me. It was evening for them. It was 3 o'clock for me. I was expecting, hour and a half. No, it was like 2.5 hours. I don't know how much editing they've done. I haven't got to listen to the show because I've been freaking busy with other side projects.
Yeah, which I listened to that live and it was great.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It was different. I was keeping track of my don't sidetrack too far. I know they do a little bit. I don't listen to them every single week, but every now and then, whenever I get a chance, they're on my list. But yeah, other than that, most of my Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday early morning went to a video project that I put together for Torn Think Tank, because it was their episode 300 and their last episode. So I got to stitch together some stuff because it was my idea, so I didn't think it was fair to make someone else do the editing and putting it together. So I did that, and it got mostly the reaction that I was expecting. There were some tears in chat room and on screen, and the intended jokes got the laughs and giggles. Like I threw in a little tie-dye thing because, I mean, come on, I've been doing that for a year now. Of course I was going to throw that in there.
right.
But, yeah, and then I got, and after it was done, one person in chat was like, why did you pick that song? I was like, because it seemed the most fitting. It was a sad song, but it was kind of a happy song. Like, we're saying goodbye, but glad we had the journey kind of thing. So, it was what it was. That took a lot more editing than people would expect. Just because one person in particular, I cut my name out of 3 or 4 times. I was like, I don't want my name on this. Like, I put it together, sure, but don't give me credit in the video. So I cut that out, and it made the timings interesting and all that. But, things are what they are. People enjoyed the video. That was the point of it.
And that was nice. It was. And, I think a proverbial, thank you and sort of shout out to those guys. Thank you.
Yep. They will be missed. I mean, the podcast will be missed. They're still alive, so there's that at least. They're going to be doing other stuff. I know Jules has her own thing she's doing. A couple to 5, 6, I don't know. She's got a lot of things that she's doing. Mark Honan is still deciding what he's doing creatively. I was tempted. I don't know that he'd be able to, though. But like, hey, I know some people that are doing D&D if you're interested. But I don't know he'd be available time frame wise. So
Right.
yeah. But anyway, other than that, I have either been getting my face wrecked or wrecking face with Ash over on Overwatch, because that's just how snipers work. You're either going to be like, oh, guess what? You're dead, you're dead, you're dead. Or, oh, I'm dead. Oh, I'm dead. Oh, I'm dead. Crap. So,
Sort of like healers in threes and PvP in Warcraft.
It depends. I did start playing Roadhog on a couple different maps, namely the one with the well in the middle, because hooking people into the well and watching them fall to their death is endlessly entertaining.
Absolutely.
Like, you fell for it. And I was there the whole time. And Lucio did boot me in once, but dang it, I took him with me. I turned. I got booped. I turned and hooked him, and he didn't have it. He couldn't go anywhere. He was down far enough that it just killed him. He couldn't get back out. So I was like, you got me, but I took you with me. What else? That's been about it. I mean, I could talk about Critical Role and how I'm sad that I'm not in LA at the moment because they're doing a live show that I'm not going to get to see for a month.
Right? I'm so excited for that.
That'll be entertaining, but I'll probably mention it whenever it gets to that point. So we should probably just go ahead and do the news thing for Blizzard, because that's what we're supposed to do in the first place, right?
Right.
Right. All right, so Blizzard news in general. I'm going to do this particular one out of order than what's on there, because you know, whenever I put the notes together, blah, 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 it doesn't matter why. So, back in, it was like October-ish?
Yes.
It was like October. It was announced Mike Morhaime was going to be leaving as CEO of Blizzard and going to an advisory thing. And everyone was like, oh no, but at least he's still there. And apparently no one realized that the advisory positions are not permanent. Because they went nuts since our last show a couple weeks ago. I think this was about a week and a day, or a week, a couple days, or just over. It got announced via some filing, FEC or something like that, I don't remember, that he's gone in April. And I was the only person, I was like, well, that's sad, but I'm not really surprised. It was 6 months.
I mean, and like Ali is saying in the chat room, I knew it wasn't going to be permanent. She knew it wasn't going to be permanent. Neither did you. So this is not a surprise, guys. Like, this is not something that was meant to stay there forever.
Yeah. I just saw a lot of, oh crap, it's Activision is forcing him out. I was like, if they forced him out, that was back in October. And
he would have been gone in October.
Well, no. That's when he was no longer CEO. Like, he stepped down. Whether it was his decision or not, no one knows all that stuff. We can only go by what we hear and, rumors and all that. But
the point is he would not have been in this temporary position.
It might have been. They tend to, depending on public stuff, they might do that. But either way, it wasn't a permanent thing. 6 months is about normal for that. Like, he was training his replacement kind of thing.
Right.
So, and CEO is not one of those things you can train for in, a week or 2 weeks, like fast food or whatever job insert job here that you can train for quickly.
And I'm happy that he was there for Jay Allenbrack that took over the.
Yeah. And like Ali just said in chat, at this point, Blizzard could just breathe wrong and everyone's going to think everything's gone, gone to crap and, oh my god, Blizzard is dying, WoW is over. I wouldn't go to that extreme, but I will say that for a lot of people, and I won't even include myself in this, for a little bit of it, not to the, oh my god, we're all going to die situation that a lot of people are putting it on, but confidence has been shaken between Diablo Immortal and just all the other stuff that's just PR nightmares since. That happens. But it's happening across the board with all companies. So it's just a matter of, I don't know, wait and see kind of thing. Like, oh my god, they're putting out toys, which we'll get to later. So I'll say, I'm just going to save that for later because we're actually going to talk about that later. But, come on. Mike Morhaime built the company, or one of the people who built the company. He's earned his retirement.
Yeah, isn't he in his 60s?
I honestly couldn't tell you how old he is. I don't, stalk all the Blizzard people to that extent. And the ones that I do, I would admit to anyway.
Right.
No, I don't stalk any of them. It's just not worth it. But something that might be worth it are books. I like books. I like holding physical copies of books. I like audiobooks too, don't get me wrong. They're much more convenient. I will grant you that. I like owning actual books. So Blizzard...
Especially if they're art pieces.
Yeah, if there's some nice art in them, some pretty pictures, it makes it a whole lot easier because that's less pages I have to spend time reading. Hey. Anyway, Blizzard is doing 4 new books. and I'm pulling up the page right now because that's how prepared I am. There's an art book for Hearthstone for Year of the Kraken. It's going to have tons of illustrations and stuff like that, probably card art and stuff like that. Some crazy behind-the-scenes stuff, I would imagine. Art of Diablo. Kind of interested in this one, not so much the Hearthstone one, but Art of Diablo, because it's for 20 years, all this stuff, so that'll be fun. Cinematic Art of Warcraft is another one that I'm kind of like, that would be interesting. Just I want to see examples of these books before I even consider, here's my money, because I don't have a lot of it. And then they have this weird one. The World of Warcraft pop-up book.
Well, go ahead and say it's weird. I'm going to give you.
It's weird, but what's even weirder, I'm gonna make sure I get this right. It's gonna have blah 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 blah. Brings the beloved locations of Warcraft to life, from the classic faction hubs of Orgrimmar to the battle-scarred lands of Lordaeron and Teldrassil. It's a pop-up book that is going to give you a pop-up of a freaking burning tree.
However, let me flip this around. The creator of this book, specifically, Matthew Reinhardt, he did a Harry Potter, which I took a look through, and even Soul did a YouTube video about this, and it's really good. Like, if you are into the nerdy sort of culture, or into wizards and all that, you know that he has quality work. So I would like to see what this is going to end up being. Just because, number one, Warcraft, number two, it's a book. So let's go.
Yeah, it seemed weird that, okay, we're going to get the updated version of Teldrassil and Lordaeron. So we're going to get Undercity, the above ground part of it, so Overcity. But is it going to have like fake green fumes all over the place and the battle scarred and all that? I want to see examples before I'm like, ooh, that's cool, or that's weird. I mean, it's weird to begin with, but like, how weird is it, kind of thing. So that's my thoughts on it. I mean, I'm all for more books, always. I love books. I haven't had time to read any of them lately, but I love books.
So the pop-up book might just be for you.
But it'll poke my eye out.
Most things would poke your eye out, but you know.
It's like if I got like this little toy gun for Christmas, and I try a BB gun, I'd end up using it, and everyone would be worried I'd shoot my eye out.
Yeah.
That joke is only 3 weeks late.
Right?
Anyway. I mean, there's other Blizzard general news out there, but honestly, I'm tired of dealing with, oh my god, WoW's dying because this filing, blah, blah, blah. I'm done with it. If something major happens, we'll cover it. But until then, when something gets proven, until something's proven, rather, I'm going to try to be more positive about it. I know we've been a little rough on them lately, but overall, still loving playing the games. That's the thing. Other than, Hearthstone, which I stopped playing because I just stopped it. I got my entertainment out of it. I'm done with it.
Well, I mean, and I always say, yes, a lot of these things are PR nightmares. PR, that department needs to work a little harder. They need to talk and all that. So I'm willing to let them work on that because I'm not in that business. So take it for what it is.
Yeah, but we probably can go ahead and move on a bit. We actually have Diablo news that doesn't involve phones. So I don't know.
Do you still have your phone, Draven?
I still have a phone, yeah. Actually, actually, I have a phone. I have the phone before that. I have phone prior to that, not the one right before it, but prior to. The one before that. Yes, I have these all right here because I never throw them away because they have things on them and they still work. And then my very first phone, cell phone. But they all have something like a video game that I can't get anymore because I don't have access to the email prior to. Because I stopped logging into it, so they got rid of it. Which is, understandable. But, so yeah, I have several phones and chargers because of it. But yeah, I still have my phone.
But it looks like you need a Blizzard charging station over there at your.
I do need a charging station, but that's not just for the phones. That's for, I got my backup battery, but I took it when I went to BlizzCon. Yeah, I got all kinds of stuff right here. I got my.
I have one sitting up on my desk. I have my Kindle, my phone, my iPad, my Bluetooth speaker. I have a bunch of stuff plugged into it.
I got my TARDIS alarm clock that I haven't used the alarm part of it in a while. So it's just kind of it's a decorative paperweight, but it's a freaking TARDIS, so I'm not getting rid of that either.
Right.
You know what else I'm not going to get rid of? At least not for another, say, 12 days.
I don't know. Why don't you tell?
The Darkening of Tristram over in Diablo 3. Which is basically, you get to play Diablo 1 in Diablo 3. Again. They did this last year. Maybe even the year before, I don't remember. But I do know that I haven't bothered logging into Diablo for this. Not because it's not fun, it's just there's no new rewards and I've done it. And I'm not as nostalgic for Diablo 1 as I am for Diablo 2. So, I'll probably play it before the end of the month, because that's when it goes away, hence the 12 days. But, I don't know. I didn't see anything new, so I was like, I don't really have a lot of time as it is, kind of thing. Like delegate my time between real world, game world, okay, get rid of all that, okay, game stuff. Okay, well, this is my raiding time. This is my get ready for raid time. This is my, okay, I have a podcast, got to do that kind of thing time. This is my critical role time, which I do throw into game time because I'm not doing anything real life. And all this other stuff, I'm like, okay, so this is how much time I have outside of. How many hours is this? Okay.
And really, you don't need to log in a lot for this if you've already done it.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be fun to do, but it's not something you're going to probably do tons of times. I remember having fun when I did it last year. That much I can say. So, yay.
Right,
Diablo
so give yourself like a day or two, couple hours, a few different tunes.
Well, I mean, you got to get to max level before you can do it.
Right.
Because it's on max level. So, or at least if I could be wrong on that. If I am wrong, I apologize. Don't send hate mail. If you do, send it to I Run to Drink. Because he'll love that. Inside joke.
Yeah, I'm sure you will.
Yeah, that's an inside joke. But we also have something else, Diablo. Also not phone related. It's Season 16. It just started yesterday, day before. I forget which. Within the last couple days, it has started, Season 16. The theme, excuse me, the theme is, well, it's a buff. I couldn't find an actual theme name. I spent some time looking too. The Ring of Grandeur is your buff, which is basically if a set bonus needs 2 pieces, you only need 1. If it needs 4 pieces for the buff, you only need 3. So you need 1 less piece for the set to get the buff, which I think is great. Not great enough that I actually logged into Diablo, but it's one of those things. Diablo is one of those games where I've said this many times. I play it in spurts. Like, I'll play, oh, Diablo, Diablo, Diablo. Okay, I'm done with Diablo. Diablo, Diablo, Diablo. Okay, I'm done. So it's, I go back and forth. I'm like that with Overwatch now that I think about it.
I'm like that with a few games, Diablo being one of them.
Yeah.
There's a few older games, and I'm that way with. Which reminds me, as soon as I'm done with the show tonight, I'm gonna play some Diablo, then probably flip into that other game that I like, and then probably.
Is it Second Life?
It's
Anyway.
actually a game called Pharaoh. So, yeah, that's really old.
Yeah, Populous is a really old game I like. Not that I've ever beaten the game. I don't even know if you can beat the game. I just like, here's a great massive civilization. Okay, I'm killing you all.
Right.
That's the point of that game. It's like, before there was The Sims, there was Populous. And there was no reason to try to beat the game. You just try to survive as long as you can until you decide, okay, I'm done. Kill everybody. Anyway, moving on. We had Diablo news, which was shocking. But what's even more shocking, and Alessander, this will even be shocking to you, except the fact you're the one who pointed this out to me, but we're going to talk StarCraft. And we're going to have things to say. So, this past week, the ladder was finishing up for one of their tournament things. And there was, 3-4 people near the bottom of because they only take the top 8. There was 3-4 people that were really close to the ones under the top 8. And all those people started facing the same character. The same account. Game would start, that account would leave. And it just happened to them over and over and over. Thus guaranteeing those particular players spots in the top 8. Well, word got out about it. So Blizzard started investigating because people were like, are they cheating or what's going on? And it turns out that it was that particular account was a secondary account for all of those 3-4 people, because they were all apparently logging into it, so that they could boost each other to make sure they all made it for the top 8 for their little tournament thing. And I'm like, I don't understand the thought process of people.
So basically, they were
win trading.
They were win trading, number 1, and then number 2, they were accounts.
Yeah.
So, are you ready for me to get on my soapbox, Draven?
All right. Just remember, PG-13, and we do have a time limit for show times.
I will keep it short, I promise. For those of you that are into cheating, specifically these people that got booted out, and for all others that are considering it, don't be that guy. Don't take something away from another player because you think that you can pull the wool over Blizzard's eyes or any other gaming company. Don't do it. Don't be that type of jerk. And that's what you are, a jerk. You are not a skilled player if you're doing this. You don't deserve to be in these things.
I'm going to step in here. They are skilled. They were top 8 even before this happened.
Well, apparently they're not skilled enough if they have to do this. They're cheating.
This happened at the end of the season that they were doing, and this was basically to guarantee them a spot. Couple of them were already pretty much guaranteed a spot unless they lost early and other people won, late. It was
right, and I understand.
So, but you're saying they're not skilled. They are skilled. They just decided to try to buffer their skill with cheating. So I was just slight correction to what you said. That's all.
Well, if it takes that to boost you up, then what's the point? Like why cheat somebody else out of because they are skilled, if not a little bit more skilled than you, said player that's doing this. Why?
Like I said, I don't understand this. Every time I see this, I'm just like, didn't you learn from the countless other people? Don't do this.
Yeah, and that's the point. Like, if
I mean, yeah, they got away with it for like, I don't know, a week and a half, 2 weeks.
yeah, and that was
But
it. Was it worth the 2 weeks spent?
yeah, but what I mean is, okay, you got away with it for X amount of time. Guess what? You didn't get away with it overall. And I know that's what you're saying. We're just talking around each other, saying pretty much the same thing, different ways. But I mean, look at the WoW botters. They survive a while, but then a ton of them get banned. More of them will show up, but that's how that works. Same with Overwatch. They get banned, more people show up, more people get banned. It's just a never-ending cycle. So people just continue to cheat as long as they think they're going to profit out of it.
But in the end, ultimately, if they decide, and when I say they, I mean Blizzard decides to ban your account and not ever get it back to you, is it ultimately worth?
Well, these particular people in what we're talking about now didn't get their accounts banned. They're just disqualified from their esports tournaments.
Right, and
So
if they would come back to tournaments and do this again, don't think that Blizzard
get out.
is going to be this nice to you. Like they will
I would,
not give you your account back. And I will say, hey, why didn't they do this before? You don't deserve. I'm sorry. Like I'm not as nice as Blizzard. I'm not. Like I don't put up with it. Like I would have banned you if it was me.
Okay, so I'm
like
not,
bye, get out. Like that's I don't put up with it. Like I'm sorry.
okay.
Like
I'm not arguing that point, but from a business side standpoint, if you make a mistake and you ban someone who actually wasn't cheating, that's bad. Like that's
right,
like
and
that.
I'm not saying.
I mean, that's like another level of PR nightmare bad. So that's why
I'm
they're not
saying that,
banning them outright. They're just, you don't get to be in this tournament if something happens where it's like, oh, this was actually a person. But
and I'm saying that they know that they were cheating in this instance, this very specific instance. Okay, and for that, bye. Now, if you're not sure, and then you strip away and you scale it back, all right, I understand, because you have to be conclusive in your findings. And if you weren't and you're not sure, then scaling it back might be a better way of doing that.
Yeah.
It just depends on what the situation is.
Yeah, in this particular case, full disclosure, I haven't been following StarCraft nearly as much as I used to. I still like the game. I still watch it on occasion, that kind of thing, but I haven't been following. Like, there's a couple names I recognize, but these aren't any of them. I don't recognize these names. Cyan. I'm going to butcher this name, so I apologize. Jai-Shi, something like that. And Nice. And then the account in question that was being shared was called Root. Or Route, however you want to do it. But it was... Yeah, it was just a complete cluster of a thing. And I'm tired of seeing cheaters. Just, you guys were good enough to be in the top 8. Continued to be good enough to stay there.
Right.
I would say you're better than me, but one, you log into the game. So there's that. I log in every now and then, but I don't play against other people because I'm terrible. So that makes you better than me. I'm never going to be top 8. I've accepted this. I'm never going to be like Masters level in StarCraft. That just ain't going to happen because I'm terrible. Why cheat?
And I think, and they also cheated themselves too, Because if they didn't cheat and they could have potentially went all the way with this, like that's
small chance.
why do that to yourself? That's the biggest thing.
Once you get into the next stage of the tournament, they were trying to win money, and once you get to the next point, they were trying to win the money. That's pretty much what it turned into, and it's like, no, that's why they watch these things like that, for the cheaters. Just
yeah. I mean, and like you were saying, if you got enough time spent in that game and didn't and tried really hard and got there, you essentially cheated yourself out of the prize that you were looking for.
Yeah.
So,
but like I said, actually during pre-show, I think people are stupid. So, yeah,
I don't even mind if, like, I go into a game and I get my blank handed to me, because there are people that are very good, at playing these games.
Well, if you're going into like a game like StarCraft and that happened to you, if it's a brand new beginner person, then that kind of thing, fine. If someone like me, let's say I've been playing StarCraft a lot. I haven't, but let's say I have. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to do something stupid. I'm going to log into the player versus player section of the game, the multiplayer, and I'm going to go in and see what I can do. If I get matched up against a pro, I'm going to be, well, first off, I'll be like, holy crap, I'm going to screenshot the heck out of this. I'm going to record this. But I'm going to be ticked because the freaking matchmaker broke. I like good games. I don't like stomps. But either side I'm on. Okay. Every now and then, the winning side of a stomp is fun. I don't like it when it's constant.
Right.
So I like good games. If I feel like I've earned the win, yay. If I feel like my team carried me, that's about more like, if I'm playing Overwatch.
But what I'm saying, even if you lose,
as long as it was a good
game, even if it is a quote-unquote stomp, like, I don't mind that occasionally, because that tells me, hey, I'm not doing something correctly in this. So let's go learn.
In my example, I'm not going to beat a pro, let's face it. So, and I was just using that as an example, but I don't know. I'd rather a good game, even if it ends up dragging for a really long time. I'd rather a good game versus a stomp, because getting stomped on never feels good. Doing the stomping, okay, I will admit sometimes that does feel good, but it feels better when you earn the win, and so. That's why I said the matchmaking thing. But with the cheating thing, they were probably going to make it anyway. Only the 8th place person really had a chance of not making it. So I was like,
yeah.
I'm over it.
I mean, I'm sort of over it too. I'm over cheaters, so sayonara.
Yep. Okay.
You ain't gonna be in this time. Bye.
Yep. All right. So here's the heroes news for the past 2 weeks. Imperius came out, which we reported on the last show. That's it. He's not doing too good. Guess how many times I've played him, Zeph?
0 and/or.
I have not logged into the game since he came out, and before that, actually.
Okay, so I was fortunately right.
Yeah, you guessed 0. You were right, but I just haven't felt like playing that game since that announcement hit. And even then, I was kind of like, I never played competitive anymore, and that's where I was having the most fun. And I just didn't have the time to do it, so I just kind of, and that might have happened for a lot of people. That might be part of why the announcement that happened. So who knows? But yeah, that's it for. Heroes. Carbot put out a new video today, so that's Heroes news. They're still putting stuff out, so it's not literally a dead game like the the funny joke that I made back then. But
Yeah,
you
more
can
like
tell
skeleton crew.
you can tell that there's a difference. The difference in terms of games aren't necessarily from what I've been like. I'm still watching a couple streamers who are doing it. The difference in games aren't necessarily bad. Like no one's overly toxic.
I mean, you're gonna
So-
have your handful of jerks and what have you in gaming culture,
Sadly.
period. But
Sadly. But I mean, the atmosphere, other than the oh god, we're all gonna die, there at the beginning, seems to be okay. Well, let's figure this out. All the really toxic people, and most of the pros, some of which were toxic too, left. So it's people who really like the game, and you get the occasional jerk, but those things happen. So
it's not like you can't, if they're really toxic and just really bad, there are ways to report these people.
I mean, you can report them or mute them.
Yeah, so
Voice mute them.
Mute
them in chat.
Just know that you don't have to put up with their crap, and don't.
Yeah.
So
Not worth it. All right, moving on. Hearthstone. Nada.
crickets.
I spent a good 6 or 7 seconds looking up news for Hearthstone because I knew Gal wouldn't be here. I didn't see anything, so moving on. Overwatch. It's not in the show notes, but we have about 1 month, a little less than, before Overwatch League and the new teams. So, yeah, I think it's Valentine's Day week. Maybe even Valentine's Day itself.
Good luck with that.
I'll watch it a little bit.
I'm
here and
probably not, but because I'm gonna be busy.
there. Yeah, I probably won't be. Well, not. I'll be busy, but I cheat and I just leave my browser open whenever it's Overwatch League day. If there's a chance I won't be there, and I just leave the Overwatch League Twitch up. That way, whenever it does pop up, I get it. And then, because they give you rewards based on watch time and stuff like that, I get my rewards whether I'm watching or not. It's not an exploit. It's clever. It's clever use of game mechanics.
Right.
So yeah. So that brings us to Warcraft. Okay, so we're not going to do spoilers. There's some things in here that are for upcoming stuff, but we're not going to spoil anything. Such as the new raid. It's coming Tuesday.
Yeah, it's coming Tuesday, and my raid leader. You haven't been in Rubber Chickens for a while.
I'm still technically in there. I just haven't been there to be there.
Right, because life. But
yeah.
Let me do this. Hi, Rubber Chickens. I do it every time. But the one thing that I am excited for, which is the silliest thing to be excited for, is the
Killing
Enchanted
Jaina.
Tiki Mask. Well, beyond that, is the Enchanted Tiki Mask, because pet. If you know me at all and you read my blog, you know that I am working on battle pets, and I always have been since Pandaria. So got to catch them out all while Kimon. That's the thing, I swear. But yeah, it's Gloom Dust and some shards, and you're done. So bada boom, bada bing, and I am going to be selling those things, and I have enough Gloom Dust and mats to make at least 30 of those. So I'm going to be passing them out like candy.
I am looking forward to the new raid, partially because I get to fight a pile of gold,
Yeah, and
There's crowns that you get out of it depending on what difficulty. So they are so trying to get people into that freaking LFR. No, I'm not going to do LFR. I might go in a couple times, but it's going to be like weeks and weeks later when people finally figured it out.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it at least a month. Let it set.
If I go in at all, I might just go in like later to solo it. Like next expansion, I'll go in and solo it. Killing Rastakhan is another yay on my list. But I'm gonna be honest. Out of all the bosses, there's only one in there that I'm like, I don't care if she's not technically on the side I'm on. I want to kill that person, and it's a particular mage who has the best troll mechanic ever, even though she's a human.
Yeah, Miss Jaina.
Yeah, you pop Bloodlust and she ice blocks.
I mean, a lot of people love Jaina, but, Ashara is the true queen, so that's the lady that I'm looking forward to in any form coming up. I mean, I do like Jaina, but it's like, we've seen her since, way back when.
Warcraft. I know Warcraft 3. I don't know if she was in the ones before that.
I think it may be Warcraft 2 as well, if I'm remembering correctly, but
No clue.
I'm gonna have to do.
I know at least Warcraft 3. But yeah, there's some Ashara stuff coming. No spoilers. We know we're gonna fight Ashara as a boss at some point. So
and I'm excited.
I mean,
not that I want to just like toss this raid away, because I like the whole idea of it, and what we're gonna go and do, and how it's been described. But I'm not going to cover that here. I want people to actually go in and be excited for it, for whatever reason.
Yeah, I mean, everyone gets excited for their own thing, so nothing wrong with that. I'm looking forward to the Ashara fight too, but for different reasons. Just because I actually want to see her in action in battle. Like, she's been like hyped up for so long, and it'd be like, okay, we're gonna fight Sargeras now.
Now, the other thing that I'm excited for, other than the raid that's coming up here soon, I don't know if it's with the raid or later, but the Shadow Priest weapon. That is what I'm waiting for.
That's coming.
So once that comes,
I don't think it's coming out with the raid Tuesday. I think that's the next patch.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the next patch too.
So probably,
but,
probably March, February, March.
Yeah. So once Sylvanas gets her dirty little elf hands on it, I'm gonna go reclaim it because I'm a Shadow Priest and have to go get my weapon back. But yeah. That's my spirit stick. I mean, I can't just let her have it.
Yeah, no spoilers, but there's a lot to do with that particular dagger for every class, not just Shadow Priest.
But again, that's my spirit.
That's your Naifu?
That's my Naifu. That's what is linking me to Talias and Novotel. Hi, guys. Doubt that they listen to the show or even mine, but I could let me be, let me enjoy that. That's all.
Another thing coming up, not raid, but profession update. You're getting the tools of the trade weapons, these special items that have these unique things. Like, if you're a blacksmith, you'll get a hammer that will you use the ability on the hammer, and all your equipment is repaired for free. You can only use it like once every few hours, I think. Once an hour or every few hours, something like that. And every single crafting profession has something like that. So
yeah,
that'll be entertaining. I'm hoping I have all the mats already because I've been saving. So we'll see there.
Well, there's some things I at least know for There's breath of whatever and the sanguisil things that
Yeah.
those
Breath and
things
brew.
I'm gonna
Bonsandi!
I'm just gonna call him Brohim.
No.
Okay.
No. He is too cool to be allowed to stay Horde side. Or Alliance side. He needs to join us with N'Zoth. I mean, what?
Right, I know. He does need to join us with N'Zoth. What?
Yeah.
No.
Anyway, speaking of choosing, there's a couple more things player choice-wise coming up. You get to continue with the Saurfang thing. Saurfang versus Sylvanas. There's a couple others that I don't want to spoil, but it's going to get interesting because the way Blizzard has talked about these, if you choose to side with one side over the other, one of them leads to a quest chain, or a possible quest chain later, and one just stops there, which may end up having its own quest chain later. And it's just like it's like splitting each side up, and right now I think there's a possible, if they do that, where they split everything, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 possible quote unquote endings of the quest chain if they split all of them equally. So that alone would be like, I'm gonna go ahead and level 4 more characters just for that quest chain so that I can see all the endings, because you don't get to go back. You get one per character.
Right. And I was actually reading the Wildhead article that you linked here, and it's great that they are giving choice. But one of the comments, and I'm sort of like confused about saying, well, why don't you go and see? They ask, which one of these are Alliance player choices? I'm like, well, you chose to play Alliance. That's the choice. But you could also choose to go and level a Horde character and to have these choices. So take it for what it's worth, boys and girls.
Okay, so this is some real talk for the players out there. You are not entitled to every ounce of content based on what you decide faction-wise to play.
Exactly.
If something is Horde specific, you don't need to have an Alliance equivalent. They'll try to get you one eventually. Doesn't mean you're going to get one right away. Doesn't mean you're going to get the same thing. Same with faction capitals and bosses and stuff like that. Not necessarily going to be equal. You are not entitled to it. It's nice when it happens.
Exactly.
But let's look at Legion. Guess what Alliance got that Horde didn't? They got a lot of artifact power with that Anduin quest. You know what Horde got for it? Nothing. They can take turns. It's okay.
And I'm going to also flip this into this as well, because I know that I have a unique sort of thought process, and not everybody's going the same way.
Can you say that again? You cut out.
I know that not everybody plays the game the same way, so I know I think a little bit differently. But I, as an Alliance player, I don't choose roleplay wise to follow Boy King. I'm following Khadgar. Like, that's a roleplay thing. So that's ultimately a choice that my character had made. So think outside of the box, boys and girls. Like, you're not always going to get what you want, but it's going to be what's best for the game. So have at it as you will.
So what you're saying is you can't always get what you want, but sometimes you'll get what you need.
Right.
Sorry. Anyway, I'm going to have to disagree with you on Khadgar. I think he is a waste of space. He is the one character I would be more looking forward to kill than Jaina.
Well, I personally
If I had to
as non-Zeph.
choose between Khadgar or Jaina, like if they say, "Here, you get to kill one of these two, but only one of them." Sorry,
Well,
Jaina,
not
I've hated
like
you longer, but my hatred of Khadgar is more. Goodbye,
well,
Khadgar.
like me IRL agrees with you because he has messed some stuff up. But Zeph, her choice, the character's choice, is Khadgar. That's what she chooses.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, if I was gonna RP my characters, not in my own head, but like as my characters, I don't know who I would pick from. I'm too in my own head of I'm always gonna root for the villains. Like in Lich King, I was rooting for Arthas. In Kata, I was rooting for Deathwing. In Legion, I was rooting for the Legion. This expansion, since they haven't told us who we're going up against, but they have shown us N'Zoth. I mean, I'm always going to vote for the old gods, because they're the freaking old gods. And if you look at the player track record, just as a side note, if you look at what the players have done, and then you look at Titan versus Void or old gods, we have done more to help the Void and old gods than we have the Titans. We've helped the Titans once. And that was at the end of Legion.
Ah.
Everything else has been helping the Void. Pretty much everything.
Hence why I want my spirit stick back as Zeph. Let's go.
Yeah.
You know.
But just saying, if you want to look at previous things of what we've done versus what we are told we should be trying to do, the Titans probably, they took our help, but they probably aren't on our side.
Oh, more than likely not. And I'm just gonna put my void hand and spirit fingers in your face and be like, no, 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 no. But yeah, of course. Like it is what it is. Like, and we haven't even been to the void planet yet.
Planet. There's from lore itself. When you say planet, you are wrong.
Planet star or planets.
Planets, lots of them, from what we know for a fact. You know what else we know?
I just wanna get my love rocket and go to a void planet.
So here's the problem with the rocket. It isn't space worthy. You can only go so high, and then it won't let you go any further. Yes, I realize all the zones have ceilings that you can't see.
Right.
That's what makes the joke funny.
I mean, can't you give me like a space jump or something else?
I'm sure we'll get there. You know what else?
I mean, we got it for Argus, so
yeah. You know what else we can do to get there? The Brawler's Guild.
Yes.
That I'm looking forward to. That's coming out next patch. And the mount that we get is freaking Bruce, the crocodile from the beginning of the first one. And I'm like, yeah.
Bruce is so cute. I'm sorry. I gotta go get him. This is going to force me to play the Brawler's Guild again.
I have gone through every season and gotten the title or the I finished the thing every season, so I'm looking forward to another season of it. I usually wait until a little later to do it, just because time. Like,
yeah,
I'll learn the mechanics, but I also play a paladin, and their whole design is I don't want to do mechanics. Bubble. Okay, keep going. Or in the case of certain raid bosses, bubble. All the fights broke.
Right. Yeah, you just like to break things. It's your style.
I don't like breaking things. I'm just not opposed
to
it. I mean, people maybe, but not like physically, just mentally.
Sure.
I don't know. So yeah, Brawler's Guild's coming. That's going to be entertaining. I don't know if you listen or not, Lore. I presume you listen to most of the podcast, at least at like 5 times speed. But if you are listening, Brawlcast, bring that back. All you have to do is cast. No playing. You don't have to do... I mean, you have a little bit of setup you got to do. And it's Horde, so I can't use my Paladin. But my Demon Hunter is almost as geared. We can do... I'll join on my Demon Hunter. Broadcast is fun. Anyway, moving on, we have one last thing to talk about tonight. And it's a lot like... It's got a whole bittersweet thing. Because it's only there because someone died. But then they put it in because that particular person that they did it for meant a lot to so many people.
So if you don't know what he's referencing, in the next patch, 8.1.5...
Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good.
Yeah, I know. I know. But we're gonna get Stan Lee in the game, and I'm excited.
And Horde has their version of him. Haven't seen it yet, but there is a model in the files for a Horde version. The Alliance, he's a city guard, and as soon as he walks into the throne room, he's like, Excelsior! And I can't wait for that. That'll be probably one of the first things I do whenever I log in, whenever he's actually in the game. Because I don't think he's live yet.
No, he's not live yet.
So I think it's 8.1.5. But
yeah,
as soon as he's in the game, I will be going to the throne room, and I'll be standing there and getting a screenshot with Stan Lee, because I never had the chance to get my actual picture taken with him.
Now, did you ever see... did you see any of the other past ones that they put into the game? And how do you think that you're going to feel when this comes in compared to the other?
This one's a little more in your face.
Yeah.
Which I'm fine with. It's Stan freaking Lee. I do know that I went to the Robin Williams one.
Yeah, the egg. That was pretty good. That was pretty cool.
I've gone there a couple times. Usually I'm the only one there. Every now and then there'll be another person, but I go there like once, maybe twice a year. But yeah, other than that, I don't really... Like, I'll notice it, and it's cool. I love when they do it. But it's, it is what it is. I'm still waiting on a couple other ones that I think should be there. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut on people's names, but...
Yeah.
I send in requests for, hey, can we get an in-game tribute for this person through email, but...
I mean, and
then I get the reply, stop sending email to this email. We are not going to do this. If you don't stop, we will stop sending you paychecks.
Right? You have to earn that in-game gold another way. And no, don't stand on a mailbox, because I'm not going to toss you any of my silver or gold that way.
But... Yeah,
unless you're in a Pandaren.
No, it doesn't have the same feel on a human as it did a Blood Elf anyway.
Right.
And the well at Dalaran was a really good spot for that. Not that I know from personal experience. Just saying, I know people.
Me too.
I mean, you could always go down to Goldshire.
Oh, I've been there. That's a scary place.
You could probably make a lot of gold there if you wanted. I'm just like, no.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna avoid that. Alright. Well, anyway. So you asked me, what's one of your favorite in-game tribute type things? Like with Stan Lee, there's the Robin Williams. Is there another one?
Oh, there's a couple of them, but in the Tauren starting area, the little dog, that whole quest chain there, that's probably one of my favorites, other than the Robin Williams one.
Yeah. Okay. Not bad. Yeah, I remember doing that one. I just realized I gotta think up names for a Quilterian human and a Zandalari troll.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, I got my Maghar orc. I made him look exactly like Garrosh, as much as I could anyway. I had to level him up for armor to get certain pieces of armor. But I named him Lightning Rod. Because that's funny. It's not as good as, my Nightborn mage named Annie Lusion.
I was just thinking that.
I think that wins the naming game right there. Because
Yes.
I was the first one. I'm like, how did no one think of this? But yeah. Anyway, I think that'll be a show. So Zeph, do you have any shout-outs or how do people get a hold of you, that kind of thing?
Okay, so let's start actually with shout outs. I'm gonna shout out Carrie, Bar, you, and anybody that listened to our bantering last night with D&D. I got myself killed. Thanks, Carrie. I love you. It was great. But I got to beat up on Barf's character. That was fun. And yeah, reminds me not to play a barbarian unless I want to do some more research.
Okay, so I gotta jump in here and correct you. She got the killing blow on you? Yes. She's not what killed you, though.
No. It was my stupidity that got me killed.
Okay, well, hopefully you guys had fun. I had a
Yeah.
little bit of tech issues on my side, so I disappeared for a bit. But, yeah, we'll get together eventually, finish up the quote-unquote one-shot, which I am now officially rebranding as a mini-campaign, because I expected it to be a one-shot. 3, maybe 4, 5 hours, 6 hours tops. 4 hours in, they haven't even left the starting area. So,
But
I'm calling it
I
a
don't want to
mini
go.
campaign. It might only be a 2-shot or a 3-shot, but I'm now planning on it being 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Especially since we're going to have possibly another person joining who I will not give any details on just yet, just in case they don't. But
Yeah, don't jinx it, please.
yeah, if you're a member of CTR, you probably have heard of this person. If they join. If they haven't joined, then you never knew them in the first place.
Right.
All right. So how do people get a hold of you?
So how people get a hold of me? The easiest way would probably to reach out on Twitter at Zephariah_Zella. Or you can go to my blog, which is zephariahsadventure.wordpress.com, and at the end of most of my posts, if not all of them, there is a Discord link that you can click on and join me in my adventures in my Discord. I also have a podcast by the same name, which is also on iTunes and various other podcatchers. So go look that up. Yeah. And yes, Carrie, I appreciate it. Stand in fire, you die, you become a crispy.
All right.
And tastes better with hot sauce, I tell you.
Okay. As for me, easiest way to get hold of me, over on Twitter at Draven Dresden. Otherwise, we got Discord, bit.ly/epicfaildiscord. Those are the easiest ways to get a hold of me. If you want, we have a Patreon for the show. Maybe we can get some of these tech issues fixed. Although I think this one's a Discord thing. So this one's not on me. But we have a Patreon, patreon.com/podcastepicfail. It's per month, $1, $2, $5, $20, $50, $100, whatever you want to throw. I mean, I'm going to look at you strangely. But on a positive side, I'll be looking at you strangely and not someone else. Plus, I'll say thank you and all that. So there's that, right? Well, I won't understand it, but I will say thank you. It helps way more than almost anyone could ever know. So I would just say thank you, and it does mean the world of difference. Not only the people who do the Patreon, but the people who show up and chat every week, or at least try to. And it means a lot. So thank you. So with that, normally I would ask if my guest has any last words, but since that call is dead, it's not connecting at all, so that's fun. Thanks for letting me use Discord. This is our first time trying to use Discord for real for the entire show, and this is what happens. This is why I keep using Skype. Unrelated. So, with that, last words are going to be, because they seem appropriate this week, /moo. Thanks, guys. Be back next week, maybe with Galv. Have a good night.